up guys, Jesse here. In today's video I'm going to be going over my personal 5 steps to turn anything around. Yesterday I gave you the Tony Robbins method, which is feed your mind, move your body, find a role model, had to look at my cheat sheet, make or get a plan, and feed your spirit. And I have totally used this to make dramatic changes in my life, but I kind of reworked that to, and I used some other people's things, little pieces that they had, and so my steps are, where am I right now and where do I want to be? Okay, so my 5 steps are, where am I right now and where do I want to be? Who has been there before? Kind of a different way of saying find a role model. Do something about it. So take action. And in taking action, you have to be willing to forgive yourself. I think that's a big aspect of that. You know, we didn't all just start off running. And if we gave up at crawling, then we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. 4th step is to choose me, or choose yourself. It's something that I got from James Altucher in his book, Choose Yourself. And the 5th step for me is fuel the fire with nutrition and movement. And in today, I will be going over each one of those, starting with step number 1. Where am I and where do I want to be? Break. So, where am I? I take a deep, a totally honest assessment of where I currently am. I look at all the resources that I have. What am I good at? You know, just what I have, and what is the position that I'm in right now. Like, okay, if I just lost my entire company, which this has happened to me, no big deal, right? Because I built the company to begin with. So that means that I have all of the skills that it took in order to do that. So the first time I didn't have those skills, and I had to learn that stuff. You know, just take an honest look at what your resources are. And you are your best resource. It's also a really good idea to think of like friends or family or anyone that you can reach out to that has kind of been in these sort of situations, whatever your situation is, and ask them, like, what did they do? So where am I? Where do I want to be? I then make a list of things that I want. And I think that this is the most crucial aspect of this, because you need to get crystal clear on what is it that you actually want. The thing with manifestation, and I'm like a really big believer in this, and it really doesn't matter if you are a believer in it, because you're an active participant in it. I've said this in a previous video, but we have this thing called the reticular activating system, and it is automatically in our brain, we begin to become attracted to what we think about. So if you make a crystal clear list of what it is that I want. So what would be a good example for me? I came back from Mexico. I was living in my tiny home with my girlfriend at the time, and that was falling apart, and we came back, and one day and we had started a company together. One day I found myself without a company, without a place to live. It's like I had been stripped. Like I had accrued this huge debt in order to go to Mexico to build this company. And whatever, long story short, I had a really great friend let me move in with him. And the first thing I did, sat down on the bed, looked at where I was, and where do I want to be? So I wanted to become a coach. I wanted to help people get from the place that they were at to the place that they wanted to be. And I have a huge passion for fitness and food and learning about that stuff and helping other people navigate these very tricky waters. And so I was like, you know what, I want to do that for a business. So sat down and listed these things out. I want to become a coach. What's my fastest path to do that? What path do I want to take in order to do that? Do I want to become a nutritionist? Do I want to become a personal trainer? And so I listed out my stuff, and I got crystal clear on what my actual goals were. And I found a coaching program that very much aligned with my beliefs. And I did it, and now here's where I am now, and I'm now trained by this coaching program. I am a coach for other people. It's really extraordinarily fulfilling and rewarding for me to be able to help people do the same kind of process, get really crystal clear on their goals, and then make the plan of action. So that is step number one, is finding just exactly what it is that you want to be doing. And then another important aspect of this that I'm kind of forgetting right now is stop doing the things that don't forward this action. And for me, that was quitting hanging out at the bars, quitting drinking again. I restarted that when I went to Mexico. I restarted smoking cigarettes when I went to Mexico. None of these things aligned with the person that I wanted to be, the energy that I wanted to project into the world. And so I had to quit. And what the crazy thing is, it was actually really simple, because I knew what I wanted, and I knew that that these things, they didn't get me what I wanted, and so I just quit. So yeah, as a recap, where am I now? Where do I want to be? That's step one. Form a crystal clear picture of this. And then your RAS, your reticular activating system, will then be put to work automatically for you. Subconsciously, you will begin to attract the things that you actually want. And this whole process will become much easier. Once again, my name is Jesse, and if you found this video helpful,